Hey guys, I'm Amy Smilovic,
And I'm Keturah Drake.
and this is the Off You Go podcast, where we talk about all of the CP principles and how they get you on your way.
All right. So,
Yeah.
we're back. Lots of
Color.
questions about color.
Who knew? Matt, you're the one that came up with the color wheel. I mean,
Stella and I put it into development.
yes, you guys had your little styrofoam and everything out there. Were you an intern, Stella, when you guys created the color wheel? Like first real project.
You're like, they're
Nice.
paying me. I got to put this work in.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good. Okay, and so the color wheel, we thought we were just playing with color, but it kind of turned out to be revolutionary.
So you included the color wheel into your first book, the CP, well, Creative Pragmatist Edition 1? Volume 1.
Something like that.
And so then Matt took that and made it 3D, and it was really 1D.
Yeah.
Can you tell me how had you envisioned color before you wrote about it in the book?
I would say that the way I think about color has really changed. And I know from a design point of view, I always thought about color of, what am I really liking right now?
Mm-hmm.
And I did think about it in terms of changing the temperature of a collection, right? I
Mm-hmm.
was always thinking collection first. And that was one of the big things that a buyer would tell you is like for spring or for fall, if you're going to have like 2 deliveries in spring or 2 deliveries in fall, you can't really completely change the temperature of a collection.
By temperature, do you mean tone or vibe?
Yeah,
or...
where like imagine if you had 2 consecutive deliveries and one of them had a really deep, rich 70s laid back browns, blacks,
Mm-hmm.
weird mustards vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden you were to change to electric pinks and bright
Right.
blues, and it would be very sharp in 80s and electric.
Right. The floor can't even transition. And then you're transitioning the person's closet.
And it looks like chaos,
Okay.
right? So I always thought about it in terms of, the company and the collection that I was building. But when I created the color wheel, it was because I started noticing that the pairings of certain colors created a different sensation in me.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is the idea of the color wheel, and why you have these color rings
Mm-hmm.
is because each ring is really set up to have a consistent emotion.
Right.
And when 2 different emotions are combined, it creates like a whole nother.
So I have a DM that I want to read you. How do you read the color wheel? How am I supposed to use the color wheel? Do I match the middle to the outer ring, or is it about temperature? I feel like I'm looking at it all wrong.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people do that. They're like, "Oh, so this brown is always supposed to go with red." And I'm like, "Oh, no, look, we can turn it."
Mm-hmm. Was it in your... Of course you can.
My pocket wheel.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, easy to
no.
carry around. No, but I just happen to have this, Keturah. Why, funny you should ask. Okay, so the color wheel is set up by emotions, right? So black is very strong and bold.
Yep.
And then this is ring 2, and ring 2 are your more classic colors.
Mm-hmm.
They are familiar heritage. They might be comforting to some people, sense of familiarity, right?
Neutrals in a way.
Neutrals.
Yep.
And things that you can describe: navy, gray, brown. They
Right.
got.
Straightforward.
I'm not going to argue with you. If you're like navy, I'll be like, I think it's navy too. We're not
Right.
going to fight about it. Ring 3, though, these are the colors that people do heavily debate what color they are. When you try and describe them, you usually end it with an ish. And if you think about anything in life that you describe ishy, washy, wishy, it's going to always come off as a little softening, a little non-committal.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, oh, that person's so wishy-washy, right? They're kind of non-committal.
Mm-hmm.
So ring 3 are really your non-committal colors. They
Okay.
kind of soften the blow. They ease things up a bit. Then ring 4, these are fully saturated colors.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not all brights. They include pastels as well, but they're saturated. They would normally have like a white undertone to them.
Mm-hmm.
So you have like lavender, baby blue, electric blue, turquoise.
Right.
And these are energy, jolts, like excitement. They're bold and strong. So what the color wheel does is it shows you, like if you move this ring 3 here and I'm like pointing it towards my microphone. Like, are you a person? No. If this is ring 3 here and I'm taking this kind of rusty color,
Right.
you can see that
Oh,
it looks great, literally, with every color here. And what's interesting is even though like this rusty color and the more magenta purple, it creates like something beautiful and rich and
it's unexpected. I'm looking at it now, and I wouldn't expect to pair those together, but now I'm like, that makes a different feeling.
but ring 3 goes with everything. So it makes a different feeling than if you had the magenta and the black together. But it's interesting that like the magenta and this rusty brown, the interesting feeling that it gives you
Mm-hmm.
is the same interesting feeling that I have when I mix it with the blues, the turquoises, the bright yellows.
Right.
It's all interesting and it's all nuanced.
Right.
So when you want to create a lot of depth in
Mm-hmm.
your outfit, what you're going to do is reach for a ring 3 item.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you pair it with, for instance, the real high energy color, you got this subtlety, but with a pop of energy
Right.
at the same
And
time.
also, is ring 3 something that kind of grounds for people that are like, I can't really wear brights or I don't like them? Can that ground them?
It it grounds you if your problem with wearing brights is that it's too bright,
Right.
right?
Right. You need to soften the blow.
Yeah, because
Got
some
it.
people are like, I've got all these brights and I need it to be grounded, but in a more traditional way, right? So then maybe navy or chocolate brown is going to be fine for them.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, when I'm wearing brights, more often than not, I want to like tone it down and soften it. Or if it's a pastel, I grew up in the South. Pastels are very stereotypical, very pretty, and I like to unpretty them. And nothing will unpretty a pastel better than like mixing it with
A muddy.
a weird icky color.
Okay. Got it.
Exactly.
Cool.
And so you can see that what happens is when you look at the rings all, simply on their own, if I look at only the ring 4,
Mm-hmm.
if you were wearing only ring 4, you might feel high energy, but then you stop. Like the
Yeah.
adjectives stop flowing. You can add synonyms, you can feel pumped up, you can feel electrified, but they're all synonyms.
Right.
So you tend to feel more one-dimensional if you're wearing all one ring.
And some people have a closet that's only one ring.
Definitely. And sometimes you find that people tell, you get the DMs where you're like, I'm in this complete style red. I have no idea why. I've got a purple top, a green top, a red top. Someone told me I needed to add more color into my closet.
And you're right. And I did.
And I did.
From all of ring 4.
What the fuck? Nothing's changed. But the thing is if they're adding it into a closet that is grounded in black or in these ring 2 neutrals, then the feeling every time they're getting dressed is going to be bright with some structure and it might feel more rigid. And rigid isn't a bad thing. There are many days where you need to feel like that kind of rigidity. But the thing is whether it's purple or green or red or yellow, you are always feeling rigid. Therefore, you feel like you have one outfit in your closet. The outfit is rigid. If you understand what emotion you want to lean into that day, then you understand the right color combination that's going to help you best affect that sensation.
All right. Sweet. I'm going to go to the next question.
Okay.
All right. So I've had my colors done and they told me I'm a cool summer. But now I feel super boxed in. How does the Creative Pragmatist or the Tibi color wheel relate to that? Can I wear them as tones of, or how do I make it feel more like me? So what do you say about that?
First of all, what I say is, who the fuck goes and gets their colors done? I just can't imagine if someone put a big pile of pea soup, ochre looking color around my neck
That shoe.
and then whipped it away and said, look, this is not your color, and then showed me navy. What person is like, shit, I've been going through my whole life thinking that this pea soup lifted me. I mean, like, it's kind of obvious, right? Like,
yeah, it's obvious. I feel like, but it's also, I can see how it boxes people in for sure.
but
Because
I think what's obvious is what colors make you
feels a certain way.
feel a certain way, but what colors make you feel more alive.
Right.
That is obvious. No one should ever walk out and say, I had no idea that I was supposed to feel so good in lavender, and now I do, and thank God.
Right.
And, you know,
What's funny, because if you tell me, are you going to feel alive in brown? I'd be like, absolutely not. I'm going to feel really sad, even though my skin is brown and I feel alive in it, but it's not going to give me energy.
yeah,
But it's a tool, because I do need brown in my closet, and I think it needs to go a step further.
yeah,
Like, I need brown, but if you put it in my face, I also need something on the bottom that's not brown, or brown that has undertones, and maybe it's a ish.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think all of that, to me, getting your colors done in that way, I think it should probably affirm what you've always known.
Right. That I like or don't like peach or pink.
Right. And here is why
And
now,
here,
right?
and when I hold it to my face, I see that, like, shades of that
Yeah.
I don't enjoy.
Right.
Right.
Right. So it should affirm kind of what you've already known. Now, what it should not do is make you go through a giant purge if
Throw out everything that's not that color.
if it's a color that you really like.
Right.
And so, you know,
So do what you want.
do what you want, but I would say that there are, if undoubtedly though, that if you're wearing it right up to your face, and it really does make you feel
A visceral.
just, you know, it's like you put it on. Sometimes if I put on like turquoise, every time I walk by a mirror, I'm like, man, I got to get out in the sun, or I got to get more sleep.
But if it
Right.
was a ishy turquoise that was like a little bit more powdery or
Yeah, but like,
dusty, would
let's
you?
pretend like I like turquoise, and that was probably a really bad
Let's
example.
pretend I like it, because I don't.
Because I do not. Let's pretend that I do. Then I think what I would want to think about is just ways to augment it. So maybe I'm going to take this navy sweater and always kind of tie it around my neck. Maybe when I wear turquoise, it's going to be like in a patent leather, really strong skirt, and I'm going to wear it with like a weird brown sweater. I can buy it. It just doesn't have to be all jacked up under
Right.
my chin.
And maybe you're going to buy a bag that's that turquoise, but you're not going to buy a jacket.
Right.
Okay.
I'm never buying a turquoise jacket.
Noted. Don't get her that for Christmas. We will not.
Tracy is never designing
Best
a
ball
turquoise
forever mug. Turquoise. Needs it.
It's on the desk.
nice with white type. I love it.
Love it.
Love
Basic. All right.
Basic. Okay.
Okay. So,
I mean, let me just touch on that real quick.
okay.
We just said basic, but we know that because it would look basic as hell on me.
I'm talking about type, right? So it's funny. What we just described is probably some healthcare system's mug right now, right? It's a turquoise with white type, but they want you to know that they are reliable. They want you to know that it's like,
And they're going to make you happy.
and they're going to make you happy and healthy and fresh, and that will serve the purpose.
Yeah.
That's what graphics are for.
But it can still be cool. I mean, Bottega years ago, like the whole show was half turquoise, and it was amazing.
Just not for you.
But not for me.
Okay, cool. All right, next.
They have really
question.
good shoes, though. They did. It was like,
I feel like you don't hate turquoise the way you say.
well, I mean, quick step, but like in the book, we talk about this in the principles. When you wear brights, what I do know is it has to be icky, glossy, or sculptural.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured out that I do like turquoise when it is icky, glossy, or sculptural. One of the eggs.
With our sweater combo that has the turquoise dicky in it, would you wear that since it's based like surrounded by brown?
Yeah, because it's with the chocolate brown, but to be honest, I'm grabbing the one with the red.
Which is why we have options.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read the next new DM. All right, I travel a lot, and I've started to notice that certain colors feel totally right in one city and completely wrong in another. How do I figure out what colors will work in different places?
Okay, so
You travel a lot.
I travel a lot, and I think that it really sucks when you show up and you are in the wrong like coloring box.
As great as you look right now, if you were somewhere like, I don't know, if you went to Florida or LA, well, I don't know.
Okay, but see, and that's the thing, right? It's not even Florida. Like, let's assume that it's cold in Florida, and
Okay.
I'm going to Florida, right? So that's a good example. It's a big state, and you've got Palm Beach and Miami.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so if I were in Miami and it was really cold and I was in this, I
No
feel
problem.
good. No problem.
Open toe shoe, maybe.
Because it's a warmer place, so this would definitely be like hardcore January clothing.
Mm-hmm.
It is a casual place. So I'm wearing denim and I'm wearing a work shirt. This is my idea of casual. It may not be a true Miami person's idea of casual, but it's navy blue. Okay. I'm not
Not
like
black.
super aggressive here. I'm not all in black. Okay. So, and Miami's a very urban city, right? You've got big buildings. While you've got sand, you also have a lot of cement. So it's an urban environment. You've got bars for partying, but the bars are going to have a little more of a New York vibe to them
Right.
rather than it's definitely not going to be like a Key West, like,
Oh,
it's not like
Margaritaville.
Margaritaville.
Love a good Margaritaville.
Exactly. Now, if I were in Palm Beach, for instance, I would not feel good in this. I really would. And I know this because I remember years and years ago, it was the first time I had ever been to Palm Beach, and I had to give an interview right away. And I had just gotten off the plane. I was at the Breakers Hotel. It was in March. And so it wasn't like sweltering hot, but I had on a gray cashmere sweater and black jeans and like a black
Simple.
pair of sandals. Simple, right? What could go wrong? When you are in an environment that is literally a pink hotel, beautiful sand, green outside, everyone just literally looks like they walked out of a Lily
The
Pulitzer
music
ad from
stopped
the
when she walked in.
60s. Yeah, you didn't feel like you were part of the environment. I felt like I had stepped off of a plane and I was like, I've got 2 hours for my interview and then I got to get back to New York. I didn't feel part of the environment.
And it shows, and people don't like that. Like I'm saying, if you walk into the hotel, it's almost like being in Paris and not trying to pretend to try to speak French. They're
Yeah,
like,
like
look at
you're like,
you Yankee.
I'm like, you're coloring, throwing off the color assortment here. So I think that, this isn't like preface, right? You wear whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
But I think that when you land in a place and you can still stand out by being yourself, but absolutely fit into your environment, it feels great. So if I were in Palm Beach, now I'm not going to wear the Lily Pulitzer because I don't wear Lily. And I'm not going to wear white pants and a hot pink top because that's not my vibe either. But had my jean been
A
a
lighter
lighter
wash.
wash,
Yep. Oh,
exactly.
that would have changed it like so much.
Exactly. Had I been wearing like a little brown strappy sandal, and had I been wearing even like a navy blue top that was like eased out and relaxed.
Right. Just softened every layer and every color. Okay.
Exactly. I would have felt like myself. And then when you switch over and you get to a place like Naples, you are in a place there that is much more conservative
Mm.
than Miami. And Palm Beach is conservative with a wink. Like the guys are like, I'm wearing pink socks today and like weird,
Woohoo.
shorts with whales. And like it's all done with a bit
Oh,
of irony.
yeah, yeah.
But Naples is a lot more conservative. So, a good like tan, white, brown sandal, maybe like a green sweater around the waist or something.
So if I'm picking up what you're putting down, tone, terrain, temperature.
Temperature.
So temperature of a
Yeah.
place matters.
Temperature matters because, first of all, as a creative pragmatist, it is just not pragmatic.
To be not dressed for the weather.
It's
Full
not.
stop.
It just, and when you can nail getting dressed for the weather and be appropriate in the moment and be right for the event.
Yeah.
Holy
Killing it.
grail.
Yeah. Other people are not. They're dressed and they're like, but my slip dress is falling into the raindrops.
Like, yeah, like I don't care if there are 3 feet of snow outside, 3 feet of snow, a lot of snow. If there's a lot of snow outside and someone comes teetering in on like massive high heel shoes, open toe sandal, like bare legged, like little mini dress, I have a hard time objectively appreciating their outfit, even though I might, because it might just be so pragmatically wrong for the moment that I'm not at ease. I know I would never be at ease in it, and they're not in ease. So
It's funny you say that because I see that and I'm like, oh, I feel bad for you. But then it's like, do I feel bad for you? I feel like, okay, I feel so good that I'm in my body that I am comfortable and ready for anything. And I want that for you too, but that you chose violence. You really chose violence against yourself and against the weather to wear those heels in the snow.
You did. And I mean, like, again, preface it, right? Like
Right.
some people, if
But
you
maybe you
ask them their
needed to.
adjectives, yeah, they're like risk
Sexy,
taker,
honey.
bold, and
Sexy.
sexy no matter. Right? Fine, go for it.
Right.
Fine. But the person whose adjectives are that, when they walk in that environment, they have got like fuck it written all over their face. They are not uncomfortable.
No.
It's the person who was like, I read it all wrong. They told me at the store that this looked great on me and that I should just like be confident, but I'm not confident. Why am I not confident? Am I not confident wearing sexy things? And I'm like, no, you're just not confident freezing your ass off in this at an event.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not confidence that you're lacking. Maybe it is just a real
A little
understanding of
practicalness.
pragmatism. Yeah, some practicalness.
I love that. Yeah, because the real baddies, they're like, I don't care what weather it is. I am out here and the heels will stay on.
And
And I'm like,
appreciate,
I want that
respect.
for
That's
me.
your thing.
Right.
That's the thing. Like, I want it for me, but it's not going to be me. You know, just like my husband and I, like when I see those movie stars, when they're shot like a new couple and they're on the beach and they're horseback riding on
Oh,
the beach.
man.
Have you ever
No.
horseback
I don't want
ridden
to. Not in my swimsuit.
with your husband? Like,
No, especially not with him.
does that? Who's ever like, I have a new boyfriend, so I'm going to like
No.
jump on his back and like have him carry me down.
I definitely don't. I don't even want to be on an inflatable like thing on the pool with him. That's weird.
But like every Star magazine back in the day,
Oh yeah,
they always
Pierce Brosnan.
showed like a new movie star couple and they were always riding piggyback
You know
style.
why? Piggyback style is crazy to hear you even say. So there's that.
Who
Individual
does
private.
that?
But also, I feel like those people were trying to be on like private islands, and paparazzi was like, not today.
But so my OG point here was that you can want certain things, but that's not going to happen for you. And if Frank and I are ever at the beach and I went flying onto his back,
I think those days y'all got 2 kids. It's a
he
wrap.
would punch me.
No, he would drop you and be like, get it together.
No, it happened recently where I was like, I played it. We were like playing. I'm like, and he,
He was
I
like,
like
"Hiya."
scared him.
He karate
I
chopped.
scared him. He did. He was like, fuck. And I was like, God, he like knocked my tooth.
You're like, honeymoon is over. It's a wrap. All right.
You know it is when. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Last question.
Okay. Done.
All right.
Yeah.
I love color, but I always want to wear it all at once. I get excited and then I feel like a box of crayons. How do I use color in a way that still feels directional?
I mean, I love this question because I do think that the aha moment, not the bullshit aha moment where someone, like we talked about, like those color things where they're like, oh my
Right.
God, I am summer. I had no idea. I thought I was like a winter in Prague. Like, that's not a real aha moment. The aha moment is when you're like, yes, I truly love color. Every time I wear it, I don't feel as sophisticated or as interesting or as calm as I want to feel. How do I retain how do I get to wear the stuff that I love but feel the way that I want to feel?
Right.
And that's where those ring threes are just so freaking
Right.
magical. Yeah, because I mean, they're my savior. So like when you were talking about like packing for an environment, I don't love wearing tons of color, but I do recognize that there are certain places that if I don't have color packed, when I get there, I'm going to full on regret it.
Right. And then you're going to be shopping and spending
Then
money
we're
you don't
shopping.
need because you have it at home.
Exactly. And I'll be like, I normally don't
We have
shop at
color at home.
Poochie. So yeah. So if I'm packing for Palm Beach and I know that I do want to bring in like some of this purple and the blues and the yellows and the greens, I'm going to have to just calm all that down with these ring threes.
Yeah, yeah.
And so ring threes, again, they are going to just dial things back. They're going to give sophistication. They're going to give nuance. And it is, I mean, it just unlocks your wardrobe.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
It's funny. I can visualize old school Susie Bubble images. I was like drawn to her, like, oh, you're so fun and whimsical and so different from everybody else. And I would describe my style when I first not met you, but talked a lot. Like, I'm like I want to be like Tracy Ellis Ross or like a Solange, but like, what is it that they were doing with color that I enjoyed, right? Because they were wearing a lot of color, but it was in a very sophisticated, artful,
I mean,
interesting
Susie
way.
Bubble probably for so many people, Giovanna Battaglia, I would put into this thing as well, has caused so many people to overload on things that every
That
time
might
they
not
put
be
it
for
on,
them,
they're like, shit, I forgot that I'm not in capri with a skirt cut up to here and super long brown legs and like smoking and having a martini. Damn it.
right?
I've got kids. I'm running around. I'm going to an office. What was I thinking? Um, because they were so compelling. They are compelling
Yeah,
still, I'm
yeah.
sure, but they were so compelling and they made you want something.
So you wanted to be what they are, but you wanted to
Yeah.
embody it, really.
So I think, I mean, for me, it's the carefreeness, like, yes, I am wearing like a bunch of gigantic red lobsters and plaid socks and
Yeah.
blah, 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 you know? It's the carefreeness, it's the experimentation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just joyful. I mean, anything that Giovanna or Tracy, I mean, like joyful, right?
Yeah,
Solange, joyful. Um, but for me, putting it on, I don't feel like myself.
yeah.
And so that ring 3 is going to really tone it down. But why did that not work for you straight up? Was it just too much to keep up with
The color,
even? Mhm.
I noticed my whole closet was that. And
Mhm.
so that can be one thing, like, and a lot of it had stuff baked into it, right? So it
Mhm.
was like, this is a pink shirt that has ruffles and has this and has that. So then I put all this stuff on. It's not like the clown, but it's like,
Right. It's always
I am a
about that
persona,
shirt.
right? I'm
Yeah.
cosplaying, whatever I think Susie and Solange are doing. And so I wasn't able to strip it down to its core when I needed to.
Yeah.
And if there were a time like day to day that I needed to just show up, even I can show up in a pink ruffled shirt to CVS to get something, but I don't really feel like that every day. And so
Yeah.
I didn't have those tools in my toolbox. I just had a closet full of really beautiful vintage or, special, fun, bright things. And I didn't have ring 3.
Mhm.
I wasn't focused on texture. And I think that that's where I kind of it fell off. And now I like separate my closet by color wheel. Did you know
Yeah.
that? I
I
think you
did.
did.
I did.
I always do. It makes it good shopping decisions for me. It makes it easier
Yeah.
getting dressed. I want this vibe versus that vibe.
Yeah. Well, I think too, I mean, you brought up a good point that you didn't have range
Mm-mm.
in your closet. And that's where when people have the closet filled with ring 4s because they've tried to get out of the rut of
Right.
having only ring 1s and ring 2 classics
They
in their
just jump
closet,
by.
they didn't expand the range
Yeah.
in their closet. And this is not having the right range in your closet is what causes people to over shop
Yeah.
all the time.
And you're still buying the same stuff. And you're like, but I bought new stuff, but I have the same vibe.
Right. Like it's not exactly the same color pink. It's like, the Devil Wears Prada when she holds up the two belts and she's like, but they're so different. And I would take that even one step further. Like, yes, for anyone objectively looking at it, they're basically the same color blue. But to me, where they were really the same as they were doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
They were adding a pop of color. They were adding a touch of bling. They were doing the same thing.
Like a hammer's going to do a hammer, be a
A
hammer.
hammer's going to do a hammer. So that's why in your closet, you want to think of the clothing as tools
Mm-hmm.
and you want to think of the colors as really broadening the range.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll buy a lot less. And I'm all for that. I really am.
I am too. I was thinking about the teacher we met that said, I'm a pre-K teacher and I want to dress like whimsical for
Yeah.
the students, but I end up looking like anybody that's like, hey kids,
Right.
welcome to like romper room. She's like, now I go home and
Yeah.
I'm like still dressed as like cosplaying this
Right.
person. So
Right. Yeah.
adding,
And that's what, I mean, just even like that color skirt will
yeah.
give you so much range because you can see like wearing any of these bright colors with
right.
it.
A sweater with this is still giving me that interest that all
Perfect.
those personas say.
And then she can go out on a date and throw on a navy blue sweater and some big earrings with it.
And not look like she's been like teaching the kids. I love that.
Exactly.
Sweet.
All right.
Cool.
You want to do piggyback?
No, thank you.